Welcome to the shareholder question and answer session. This is regarding Q1 results for Hummingbird Resources. I'm joined by Dan Bett, CEO, Anthony Kocken, COO of Hummingbird, because HUM ticker. Guys, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having us, Justin.
Yeah, thanks, Justin.
Yeah, good to see you first time. Listen, we've got lots of questions, so let's get into it straight away. Let's get through them. First one, you are forecast to be debt-free this quarter, being a material achievement, of course. With the excess cash now expected to build, what do you expect to do with that cash, Dan?
Well, it's a good question, and we are forecast to be debt-free this quarter. There's only 4.6 million of debt remaining to be paid to Chorus Bank, and obviously we are net cash. I mean, we are a single mine producer and we have a growth pipeline. We're looking to build our second project in Guinea starting this year. So we obviously are looking to reinvest money in our growth story, which is what will drive value in Hummingbird Resources. I mean, Hummingbird is a single asset gold miner. As all investors in Hummingbird know, that presents risks and challenges. And the strategy of this company is to diversify that risk through growth. And so obviously our long-term ambition is to build a gold company with a stable platform of production where we can become a dividend-paying company. But it's far too early in the growth profile of the company to be looking that way. So the answer to the question is we'll be looking to harvest cash and reinvest it in our growth pipeline, which is exceptional and which is unrecognized at the moment in the market because the market is focused on operational performance at Yanfolila.
Cool. All right. Another financial question here. Several questions relating to what the profit or loss was for the quarter, forecast cash flow and growth expectations, etc. Can you tell investors when they'll get this information, Dan?
Yeah, sure. I mean, as a UK PLC of our size and situation, I mean, the good governance is that you release audited annual accounts and then you release 6 monthly interim accounts, and the quarterly update is an operational performance update, and you don't release audited accounts in the quarterly. So, I mean, what we do is try and be as transparent as possible and release as much information as possible that's consistent with best practice and with the guidance of all the throughput figures and financial figures released. Hopefully, we're giving a good, consistent message to people.
Okay, Anthony, you're up. Someone says, great to see Anthony on board as a new member of the management team. What does Anthony see as the key challenges and opportunities, particularly from an operational perspective? And also, Andy, just tell us, where you came from to be here, a bit about your background and what brought you to Hummingbird, if you could.
Yeah, Justin, look, I'm a mechanical engineer, firstly, and then a mining engineer. So the last 23 years has been operated as a mining engineer, of which the last 15 years has been in operations that needed some kind of reshaping, if you like, and getting better performance and efficiencies in those operations. So Hummingbird, I know the Hummingbird story. I've been following Hummingbird for a few years, and I liked the growth story that they've got and the growth pipeline. There's a strategic plan that is tangible. It's in a jurisdiction with a very mineral-rich endowment. There's the current assets. Yanfolila has multiple opportunities for life extension, both open pit and underground. I also look at Kouroussa. Kouroussa has a mine life currently, but also there's potential there that we need to investigate and do our due diligence on. But what I'm seeing is a very, very positive upside for a growth story in this company. That's what attracted me, and that's what excites me about this.
I see. So next question again for both of you really, but Q3, now only 10 weeks away, has traditionally been the weakest production quarter due to the rainy season. What operational planning is being put in place to mitigate this impact this year?
Yeah, Dan, I might take that question. Thank you, Justin. This year, there's been an extensive wet weather plan put in place. That's been based on risk and risk mitigation strategies within that. So there's actions, there's a tracking mechanism for that. We've combined this within our schedules. We're putting in a holistic system that's being tracked and managed on site. And there's also a senior management overview of that to make sure that we've got all of those mitigations in place.
Let's see. A question is coming regarding when can we expect an updated mineral reserve statement update and a progress update?
But I'll just start that, Anthony. You might want to add a bit of colour, but we brought out a resource update recently, the end of Q1, and then we said we'd be working towards updating reserves later in the year. We didn't give a date, but probably, end of Q3, Q4 time. But the most important thing is that with Anthony on board and bringing in more procedures and structure to the company, we'll be trying to move towards an annualized release of resources and reserves, accounting for depletion in the pit, that year's exploration, and converting it to reserves at the same time. So I don't know if you want to add any colour to that, Anthony, as we move forward.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. CSA historically have been involved in this process. We have internalised the procedures now that we will be doing it on an annual basis. So as Dan said, Q3, Q4 we'll be getting out the reserve statement, and then rolling forward, then there'll be an annualised process with an internal structure to do that.
Okay, next question. Will all funding for Carusa be 100% debt funding, and how much?
Well, we haven't finalised the financing package yet, and we're still working on finalising the CapEx numbers and the timelines. So the CapEx number and the timelines need to be finalised before we can finalise the funding arrangements for the project. But I would say it's very unlikely it will be 100% debt funded. We're looking to use internal cash generated from Yanfolila and debt funding. In terms of the numbers, we're still, as I say, working on finalising the sort of CapEx required for the project, but I'm not expecting any surprises. When we bought the project, we anticipated a sort of $90 million build, which with contingency would mean a sort of funding requirement in the region of $100 million, and that's still realistic. And so we're sort of working towards funding that number.
Okay. Assuming licenses are finally granted, how soon thereafter can work on site commence, and is it still a 12-month timeline?
Well, let me start there, Anthony, and then you might want to jump in again. But first of all, I don't know where the 12-month timeline came from. That's never been the case. We've always said that we hope to pour first gold within 18 months of starting works, and obviously the key milestone there is the award of the mining license. I'm actually travelling down to Guinea in the next few days, so hopefully I'll meet with the government and hopefully we'll start to get some clarity on when that mining license will drop, and then we can start work pretty quickly. As I said just now, we're still finalising a couple of equipment decisions, but we're pretty close to drawing up the final numbers, and there's work that can start immediately, irrespective of those. I don't know if you want to add anything there, Anthony.
Yeah, just further to that, we've taken this time to look at the schedules, further optimising our mining schedules, making sure that our costs and our controls are in place. Some of the lessons learned from Yanfolila, making sure that they've been adopted into Carusa. And so we're taking this opportunity to see what other opportunities there are to enhance the project in terms of our capital spend and our operational performance.
Okay. What risk is there that the Carusa is also hit by similar ASIC escalation issues to those encountered at Yanfolila? How will that be mitigated?
Shall I start again, Anthony, or do you want to go first?
You can jump in, Dan, and I'll tail on.
Yeah, well, look, I think it's a great question. And I think we've done a lot of soul searching about how we can improve our performance and how we can make sure we deliver Carusa better. And I think with the benefit of hindsight, we as a team, we'd never built a mine before, and we were very, very focused on delivering on time, delivering on budget, getting that project at Yanfolila built, which we achieved, and it was a monumental achievement, to be honest. But in hindsight, what we probably overlooked was the operational readiness in terms of the training of people, the operating systems, the just ensuring that we probably under-planned for that, if I'm honest, about Yanfolila, and we won't be making the same mistake.
So in terms of that operational readiness and performance, in our planning as part of the construction, we have a detailed operational readiness plan, and looking at the execution phases of the production that we need to make sure that we have tight disciplines within those functions so that we have tight cost control, efficiency control, and quality of mineral to the plant as well.
Here's someone after a bit of detail. What grades of grams per tonne does he anticipate will be mined at Yanafalila in Qs 2, 3 and 4?
In Q4, the mill feed grade was just over 2 grams, and in Q1 this year, 2.15 or 2.16. So an incremental improvement, and we are hoping to see further improvements steadily coming out of the mine as these operational efficiencies continue to bite throughout the year.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Several questions regarding Bunk Hill and Cora Gold. How does the company view progress on its investments in both these businesses in the year to date?
Yeah, I think that both companies are doing a lot of work. They're highly active and seem to be making great progress. So we are watching with interest. I think, obviously Cora Gold, to call it an investment is now true, but it came about as a result of us spinning out our exploration assets from the acquisition of Yanfalila that came with the project. So it wasn't so much an investment as a creation of value through the joint venture we set up to develop Cora Gold. And we are, we know both companies well, and we're supportive of the work they're doing, and we remain close to them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Last one. Several questions, of course, regarding share price. Always get this with the shareholders and the performance and management thoughts on measures to better drive the share price performance going forward.
Well, I think that the overwhelming attention in Hummingbird, and quite rightly, has been on operational delivery, and we are putting an awful lot of work into stabilizing and improving that. Obviously, Anthony's joined, who you're meeting today. We're making a real effort to get out on the front foot and talk about what we're doing more and showcase what Hummingbird has. I mean, really, we have a plus 100,000 ounce a year producer this year with no debt, with an organic growth pipeline that is fantastic, a JV project in Liberia with millions of ounces, and a mature team that has gone through this transition from being an exploration company through a development company through M&A to an operator that's paid down all its debt and interest. And we need to get that message out now, and we need to communicate all this work that is going on in the background more. And I think that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking all the metrics are getting better here. Like I say, the AISC is going down, gold price is going up, your production is going up, your debt is coming down. Bitcoin's at a sell-off, so you get all the traders jumping on that thing. Oh, right, better go back to gold. And you see the gold price now is bounced; it's starting to rise again. So it's almost. I understand shareholders that are in a stock start to worry about the share price, but now it's you've got to buy low. That's what you got to do. And we all, me and Dan, both spoke in the podcast, couldn't understand why gold was selling off, but now it's not stopped. It's starting to rise, and gold, when it starts to rise, it carries on for a while, doesn't it? Thanks, guys. Anthony, Dan, speak soon. Thanks very much.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Justin. Cheers.